Hello everyone, my name is Arpita Hirani, and today I'm going to explain a very important topic from IWT, which is Internet Applications. In this video, I'll be explaining each slide in a simple and an easy way. So even if you are new to this topic, you will understand everything clearly. Yeah, so let's first discuss the table of contents. So here you can see the major topics. We'll be covering introduction, types of internet applications, web and mobile applications, client server architecture, key technologies, the architecture of application, security, future trends, and conclusion. Internet applications are simply applications that run using the internet. Unlike normal software that you install on a computer, these applications run on a remote server and you can access them through a website or an app. Like examples you use daily: Google, YouTube, Instagram, Gmail, Netflix. These are all internet applications. They have become an essential part of modern life. Businesses use them to operate, people use them to communicate, and companies use them to provide the services globally. So, yes, internet applications are at the heart of today's digital world. Next, so you can see here the key advantages which are there regarding to internet applications. First is accessibility. You can use the app anywhere, anytime, as long as you have internet. For example, opening Gmail on phone or laptop. Second, here we talk about is scalability. The app can support thousands or even millions of users at a time, like Instagram or Facebook. Third is maintenance. Updates are done on the server, so the user does not have to install the updates. Fourth, we talk about here is cost efficiency. Businesses don't need to install software on every device. Cross platform. These benefits you can see help us in related to works on mobile, laptop, tablet, anything with a browser. So these benefits are the reason internet applications dominate today's world. Now, let us discuss the types of internet applications. First is web applications. As you see, it says these are the applications that run on web servers, accessed via browsers. Like you can see Google Docs, YouTube, accessed through a browser. Second are the cloud applications, apps that use cloud services like AWS, Google Cloud. Third, real-time apps. Example, you can see WhatsApp, Zoom, live tracking, online games. Fourth, IoT applications, apps which are connected to devices like smart lights, fitness bands, smart refrigerators. So here each type is built for a specific purpose. Now, what are web-based applications? If I talk about web-based applications, so here are some characteristics for it. These are built using, of course, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Backend is done in Python, Java, Node.js, or PHP, and accessible via web browsers. The best part is you don't need to install anything, just open the browser and use it. They are also responsive, meaning they exist on small screens like mobile phones. Now, are the popular web-based applications, with examples include Google Workspace for documents and email, Slack for communication, Netflix for watching videos, and AWS for cloud computing. These examples show how widely internet applications are used. Now, if I talk about applications, client server applications work by dividing the work into two parts. First is client, which is the user side. This is what you see like an app or browser. Second, server backend. This contains the database, logic, and processing. A simple example: when you log in, client sends username and password, server checks in database, server sends response. This system is reliable and fast for large organizations. Yeah, so these are the examples that you have seen in client server applications. Zoom, it is used for video conferencing. Skype is used for real-time communication. Dropbox is used for cloud storage and sync. Microsoft Teams, enterprise collaborations, and Discord is used for gaming and community chat. Next is mobile applications. Mobile apps are of three types. First is the native apps, which are built for iOS or Android specifically. Second is the hybrid apps, or you can say the cross platform apps, which are React, Native, and Flutter, built using web technologies but run like mobile apps. And third are the progressive web apps, which run in the browser. Some popular mobile apps are Instagram, WhatsApp, Swiggy. um, you can see these are the apps which are there, which are the most popular. First is WhatsApp, you use in your daily life. Instagram, used for social networking. Uber for ride sharing service. Spotify for music streaming. And banking apps you use for financial services. Next, if I talk about, is the front end technologies. Yeah, so now let's talk about front-end technologies which are used for the design part of a website or application that user actually sees and interact with. Here you can see HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It creates like the basic structure of a web page, like headings, paragraphs, buttons, images, forms, and layout. You can think of HTML as the skeleton of a website, right? Second, if you use for CSS, CSS stands for cascading style sheets, and this controls the design and style, colors, fonts, size, background, animations, and overall look of the website. So CSS makes the website attractive and user friendly. Next, if I talk about JavaScript, JavaScript makes the web page interactive. Anything that moves, changes, or responds to like the user actions, like animations, pop-ups, sliders, form validation, that is handled by JavaScript. Next is framework and libraries. To make development faster, developers use tools like React, Angular. These help in building dynamic and responsive web pages quickly. So in short, front end is everything that the user sees and interacts with. Yeah. Now, if I talk about backend technologies, they handle the behind the scene part of an application. The backend is like the brain of the application. It processes the data, handles the logic, and connects to the database. These are the programming languages that are used on the server: Node.js, Python, Java, PHP, and Ruby. These languages run all the logical operations like login authentication, payment processing, and database operations. Backend also includes databases that store information such as users, orders, messages, etc. So there are two main types of databases, if you know, must be knowing, which are like SQL database and NoSQL databases. SQL database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, which are in the form of organized tables, right? And NoSQL databases like MongoDB. APIs. Backend exposes APIs which allowed the front end and the backend to communicate. When you click login, the front end sends a request to the backend API and the backend API responds with the results. Next is servers and hosting. The backend runs on servers provided by the platforms like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. These servers handle the user request and make sure the application works 24/7. So the backend takes care of all the processing, calculations, database operations, and overall logic needed to run the application smoothly. Next is internet protocols. So as you can see, first is HTTP. Next is internet protocols. These are the rules which are used by the internet applications. HTTP, HTTPS for websites, right? TCP/IP for sending and receiving the data. WebSocket is for real-time chat and gaming. SMTP IMAP is for sending and receiving the emails. SSL TLS for encryption and secure communication. Without these protocols, the internet would not work. Next, let us discuss the application architecture, and it has a three-tier architecture. So let me explain this architecture in the simplest way. Imagine you've ordered the food on Zomato. Zomato also has three layers. First is the presentation layer, which is the front end. This is what the user see: the buttons, the images, the menus, everything on the screen. In Zomato, this is the app interface with where you choose the restaurant, view dishes, etc. Second is the business logic layer, which is the processing. This is the brain of the application. It decides what should happen. For example, when you click order now, it checks the restaurant availability, calculates the bill, applies the discounts, and checks delivery partner availability. All rules and decisions happen in this layer. Third layer is the data layer, which is the database. This stores all the data: user records, restaurant data, orders, payments. Think of it like the big storage room at the back. So the user sends request, logic processes, data is then fetched, and final result comes back. This is the three-tier architecture, and almost every large application uses this structure. I hope it is clear. Next is microservices architecture. Now, for this, you can take an example of a big company like Amazon. They don't build everything as one big software. Instead, they split the application into small services like order service, payment service, delivery service, search service, and cart service. Each service works independently, so even if the payment service has an issue, the rest of the app works fine. And what are the benefits of that? It is easier to update, faster development, more reliable. Each service can use a different language: Java, Python, Node.js. This is why modern companies prefer microservices. Now, let us talk about the cloud service models. So, first is infrastructure as a service. You get virtual machines, storage, networking, example AWS EC2. Second, if you see, it is platform as a service. You only focus on building the app. The platform does the rest. Example, Heroku. Third is software as a service. Ready-made software you can directly use. Example, Google Docs. These models make development cheaper and faster. Yeah, so now let's discuss authentication and authorization. To secure the apps, we use multi-factor authentication. OA Youth for login, like login with Google, RBAC for roles, and JWT tokens for secure sessions. These ensure only authorized users access the data. Security data protection. To protect the data, it must be end-to-end encrypted, like you have seen in WhatsApp, HTTPS, and then TLS, database encryption, and regular audits. Securely is extremely important due to cyber attacks. Now, what are the common security threats? So, SQL injection, basically the attacker inserts the harmful SQL commands. Excesses, attacker injects the scripts. And in CSRF, the unauthorized actions are related. DDoS, server overloaded with fake traffic. Developers must take these steps to prevent these. Now let us talk about future trends, AI and PWA. AI is transforming internet applications: personalized suggestions, chatbots, smart predictions, automated support. PWA's progressive web apps work offline and behave like mobile apps. And next, let's discuss edge and blockchain. Edge computing brings processing closer to users, meaning faster apps. Blockchain provides transparency and security. Smart contracts automate the processes. Decentralized apps represent the future of internet. So now let's talk about the conclusion. In conclusion, internet applications have changed the world. Understanding their types, technology, security, and architecture is important for every computer science student. With new technologies evolving, the future is exciting. Thank you for watching this presentation. And if you have any doubts, feel free to ask your doubts in the comments. See you in the next video.